you don't see it with your eyes, you see it with the thought. So it just falls somewhere on the heart, and uh, it shoots a signal. It actually falls somewhere on the heart, and then think about a blank x-ray copy. So there's nothing on it, and then it's actually asking, hey, what am I seeing? Boom, shoots a signal upwards, goes through the mind, goes through the brain. Your thoughts were out, so that means you don't have too many thoughts. Actually, you don't have no thoughts, just a one thought or two thoughts, I would say, for the most. This feeling as that this is just an example, okay? As I said, there's no words in this dimension, so all the applicable words that you'll be picking here and there and then making a sentence. Today, let's talk about meditation. We'll talk about the breathing meditation and inhaling and exhaling. It's not just inhaling and exhaling. You inhale and exhale mindfully. The main reason the meditation is there for, meditation is a path to the enlightenment. There are so many other meditation types, but I chose this breathing meditation. Even Buddha chose the same meditation type to enlighten. So Buddha enlightened practicing the same meditation. It's called Sati meditation. So it's inhale, exhale. Sati stands for the mindfulness. So you're inhaling and exhaling mindfully. Main reason most people meditate is just to get some relief from day-to-day activities. And you must be tired of dealing with people. You must have encountered something miserable. So you just need a little bit of a relief. How do you find relief? Through meditation. Now, what basically happens is, when we deal with all these activities, day-to-day activities, there are a bunch of thoughts we are dealing with. So many number of thoughts that we are dealing with. But when you meditate, you are slowing down all your thoughts. When you slow down your thoughts, you realize your mind is free. The second your mind is free, your body loosens up. Your body gets relief. That's why people meditate. Now, in this special meditation, breathing meditation, our concentration is only to inhaling and exhaling. So instead of thinking so many million things at the same time, now your focus is just for two thoughts or one thought. I'll tell you in the future why it's just a one thought. And imagine how much of a relief you get. So as I said, the second your mind gets a relief, automatically your body is getting so much of a relief too. This meditation has total of 20 steps, but we are not going to talk about every single step. I pretty much will explain you up to the 10th step. We'll see. And beyond that, it's all about getting back to breathing, recalling yourself to come back to breathing. You need to understand one thing. Why Buddha taught this special meditation, the breathing meditation, is in a certain way we're putting our body into that autopilot mode, going to the enlightenment process. Now you're seeking the enlightenment. Buddha taught you how to put your body into a autopilot mode. That's what this meditation is all about. Now, beyond the 10th step, I said it's not really necessary explaining you those steps, because the only reason is in every step, most steps, like your mind will get to a certain status called dhyana. So there you experience different feelings. I have no words to explain those, because certain experiences, certain dimensions, you have no words to explain. So I would rather not say that too much. You will experience that. As I always say, we all do experience the same way. So after the 10th step, what usually happens is your mind goes and then stuck to certain feelings, phenomena. Like these feelings, you've never ever experienced those feelings. So you start liking to experience that little more. Buddha actually happened to be extremely reasonable. Buddha never told you to just come back. Buddha gave you some time to, go and enjoy type. So it's not a bad thing enjoying that, but the bad thing is you'll be stuck to that. So that's the bad thing. So let's say on a certain day, you have reached there, after putting so much effort, just concentrating only about breathing, being mindful all the way. It's not that easy doing that. So once you have reached there, you start liking to that experience, then the next day when you meditate, if you be focused enough and tell yourself that you want to experience the same experience that you have experienced, most of the time your body will take you to that. And the only thing after the 10th step, most of the time Buddha reminds you to come back to breathing. Come back to breathing. So in every single step, you have to think about breathing. Your assigned job is breathing, not anything else. And somewhere around 16 and up, you don't feel anything. You start seeing things. Now, in my previous videos, I have explained you what's the ultimate enlightenment is about. The enlightenment is mainly when you have a bunch of thoughts, you're isolating a one thought and you start seeing the formation of the thought. That's the enlightenment. That's the ultimate enlightenment. Once you see that, you're not going to fall back into this trap again. So living is a hoax. And you find your own mechanism. Now, what usually happens is every good thing, bad things that you do, karma means good things and bad things. That's all. Okay. So, whatever you do, it goes to the good side or the bad side based on good and bad that you have. Indirectly uses that to feed your thought either to do something good or bad. So it's just like a cycle. I'm not sure if you'd have caught that part. One of my last videos, I did explain that. So in brief, let me tell you what really happens. I'm not going to get into too much detail. Now, our thought forms. Usually, when you see something, you don't see it with your eyes, you see it with the thought. So it just falls somewhere on the heart, and it shoots a signal. It actually falls somewhere on the heart, and then think about a blank x-ray copy. So there's nothing on it, and then it's actually asking, hey, what am I seeing? Boom, shoots a signal upwards, goes through the mind, goes through the brain. And so whenever it were to be asked, what am I seeing? It gathers all the information ever since you were a kid until now, everything that you know about that certain subject, just like a CD. So think about a CD. So it gathers all of that information plus so this is just from the universal database. And also that karma portion, what I just said, was spicing up a little bit to what you're seeing, and it just forms a special image called Dhamma. So I'm asking you one thing. Are you seeing what you're seeing? No. You never see what you're seeing. You never hear what you're hearing. So this applies to all of our 5 senses. Now see, we live in the biggest hoax. When I live, I'm a big shot to me. But once you really realize that at the very tail end, that's what we call the enlightenment, you started realizing the entire hoax that you lived in. Now what? Your world just literally collapses in front of you. You become the nothingness. So that's exactly what the enlightenment is. You're technically living dead. Not in a bad way, in a good way. Now, back to the breathing exercise. Okay. First thing is, you have to find a proper place for the exercise. Now, I'm not really mentioning everything as it is what Buddha said, because that was about 2000 something years ago. What is practical to this modern society is what I'm talking about. For an instance, Buddha wanted people to choose either go to a monastery. Okay, so how practical is that? I don't think so. Now, also he suggested people to go under a tree. Now, not just a tree, what he meant to say was go into a jungle and then choose a spot. How practical is that? And then also choose a place where you have where there's nobody lives with you, and then it's a very isolated place. Isolated in the sense people-less. So I chose that, and I have been practicing in my place, and it's in a bigger city, but I was living by myself. So, but if you don't have that opportunity, don't worry about it. Just get the best benefit out of what you have. So at least if you have a room, use the room. because the main reason why you have to do this way, less problems. I will explain you in a different video how I got myself into this path, how I actually came this far. It's not an easy journey. Okay, you can do this with all your friends and everybody around. So at a certain pace, you got to let your friends go. Either you like it or not like it. So if you want to stick to this, so it has to happen. And you're putting halfway your energy to do, and then the rest the nature's going to do. Right now at this moment, you might not really believe what I say, but once you get yourself into a practice, then you start seeing how things are happening. So then you have no doubt, you will just believe me closing your eyes. Now, so step 1, choose a proper place. Number 2, the seating. How do you sit? What's the way? Okay. Again, in my previous video, I did show you the bench that I was using. Now, online, the term that they use, it's called lion's roar. I don't know where that term came from, but they call it the lion's roar. But the best 3 positions, the sitting positions are the lotus, half lotus, and Burmese. So I will try to post pictures in here, and also you can Google and see all those sitting positions, so it's not that difficult. Number 3, all you got to do is close your eyes, ears, and shut down all the 5 senses. You're thinking about your breathing. Now, before you think about breathing, you have to pay your attention inwards. All the time what you have done, you'll be thinking about this guy, that guy, you were listening to this, that, everything outside, right? Now, what you do, now you put all your attention towards the outside. Now focus it this way, into you. Now, when you shut down all these 5 senses, do it do it after the program, and then see. When you shut down all your 5 senses, what do you feel? You feel one thing. You feel your breathing. You feel your inhaling and exhaling. No one need to teach you or to tell you to breathe. You've been doing that ever since you were a kid. But now, when you shut down your 5 senses, the only thing you will feel is your breathing. That's why the breathing meditation is a unique and an interesting meditation style, a system, a method, and it works. So as I said, what it does, it puts yourself into the autopilot mode. To the people who can't even think of going that far, you're literally going there, autopilot mode. So that's exactly what Buddha did. So do this and feel exactly what everybody else has been feeling when they be doing this. Now back to it. Now you focus on the total focus is inside. Now you start feeling your breathing. Now just think about breathing. Now here, let me clear this part. It's very important, and I'm pretty sure you've never heard about what I'm about to say. There are people, they talk about feet from your nose and think about 2 tubes and air comes in and out. No. There's nothing has mentioned in the original book or the script. The original script only talks about or tells you to focus on breathing. That's it. Focus on breathing. Focus on what you do. Now, what does that mean? You close your eyes. Pay your attention to breathing. Just look at it. Just don't think too much. Just look at what is happening. Now, this does not mean you're thinking about inflating, deflating, like your belly comes in and out like that, or no, everything together. Just see it. I don't want to tell you more because the thing is, we all start seeing the same way. But first, just pick it up. You're picking it up somewhere. I promise you, it happens. Okay. At first, just pay your attention to that. That's it. The more you stay in there, you start feeling. Now, the next step, you might feel that you took a shorter breath. Now, when you call it a shorter breath, in comparison to a longer breath that you took. So, shorter. And then the next step, you feel like you're taking a longer breath in comparison to shorter one that you took. But this does not mean, please, you're not inhaling and exhaling, telling yourself like, I'm taking a long breath. Now, take a long breath. I'm exhaling. I'm taking a shorter breath. No. You just watch the thought. That's it. You just watch the inhaling or the breath. That's it. You don't do things to breathing. All you're doing is you're just watching the process. That's it. That's all you do. You don't change the rhythm. You just watch. That's it. And when you keep doing this, things happen. You felt the longer breath. Now, next step, you feel you're inhaling and exhaling as one, meaning you don't feel inhaling and exhaling. You only feel the entire process. That's all. You see the entire thing. And you're not actually making yourself to think. This is an automatic process, okay? Think about that. This is not you do. Nature makes you do to take you step by step to the enlightenment. As I said, this is an autopilot mode, okay? Now, so right here, you don't feel, I think we are somewhere around the 8th step or so, and you don't feel the inhaling and exhaling as two separate chunks. Now you see it as once, the entire process. I remember way back in the day when I was practicing, and my mom used to meditate a lot, and she has reached to so many higher positions way earlier in her life. And we were talking about how I feel, how she felt, all of that. And this is one of the places I still do remember. I was telling her how I feel the breath as a rope. Now, you guys are not copying what I'm saying. This is just for your extra knowledge and just to spice up my video because you're tired of listening to the same thing, okay? Now, I kind of felt like so it was the first time when I felt this, it was about 80 plus degrees, and so it was a hot day. And when I felt this, I did it with it's I felt the entire process plus the breath. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. These things doesn't exist in our dimension, so to find a word, it's impossible, because I'm trying to explain you a certain feeling, and it's difficult. How do you explain the taste of salt taste? You can't. So it's just like that. Now, so just try to understand. So I felt like my full breath, it just goes in as a chunk and goes out as a chunk, like in a very smooth way, just like you're inhaling in front of an air conditioner. Sometimes, like when it's super hot, we go front of the air conditioner, we go like like that, right? So just like that, you feel the breath. So when I was telling that to my mom, all she said was, don't say too much about it. I didn't know why she said that, but then I was like, okay. But I still, the only reason is, this is kind of like magic to people when you're first doing it. But when you become a pro, when you see like how someone else is getting there, you don't really make that people to spend too much time enjoying that. You wanted that person to move on, but at the same time you wanted to have that person to have that little experience too, because you never had that experience. So now that's that step, and you feel the entire inhaling and exhaling as a one whole thing. The next part is your mind feels extremely happy. I don't know how to explain this. It's a very happy feeling. Now, I know what most people would think, but no. This, when you meditate, you get to that. So you feel that awesome, like this happiness. Again, there's no words to explain this happiness. It's not that you encountered that type of happiness in your day-to-day life. When there's not too many thoughts involved, and you're literally becoming happy, that means you are absorbing, you're actually enjoying the entire happiness. Now, if I give you a simple example, let's say you were to go out with your friends. You're happy, but your happiness is in between that many bunch of people, so you might not be happy as much as you're supposed to be happy. But here, your thoughts were out, so that means you don't have too many thoughts. Actually, you don't have no thoughts, just one thought or two thoughts, I would say, for the most. And you're enjoying the entire feeling of that, and it's called the happiness because you feel happy. Your entire body feels happy. Entire mind feels happy. So your mind feels extremely happy. And then what happens is your body gets very, very, very relaxed. You don't feel your body. You're just like floating in air. Trust me. You're floating. You don't feel your body. And for people who are watching this program, do this, okay? We are simply somewhere around the 10th step or so. The only reason, if you would have noticed, I did not mention the step number 1, 2, 3, 4 likewise. The reason is, when I was practicing this, and when you know what you would be achieving to, let's just say, if you were to catch a shorter breath and a longer breath, then you know what would be the next step. So if you know what would be your next step, and you will be happy, because you know you are going step by step up. Then the trick of this is, when you know the next step, instead of going to the step, you're going down. How down you would go? You would go down all the way to ground zero level. Then you have to build it up to get to that level again. So I don't recommend that, because that's one of the obstacles that I went through. So that's exactly why I happen to not mention step number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So now, in this step, our body feels extremely relaxed. The reason is, it's just like you're floating on air. The reason is, when your mind is free, your body gets extremely relaxed, like you just like float in the air. I don't know how to say this feeling. I remember I was telling my mom back in the day this feeling, as that this is just an example, okay? As I said, there's no words in this dimension, so all the applicable words that you'll be picking here and there and then making a sentence. That's why I even have to think while I'm doing this presentation. Whenever I do my presentations, I don't use any teleprompters, this or that. I just come and then do my presentation. No prior getting ready to do a presentation. No, that's how I do, because sometimes ideas literally flows into your head. It's just the universe does that part. Okay, so anyways, now I'm telling you, I happen to be telling her, I felt like you're inside of a swimming pool, and when you stick your head out, like all the way to this level, like your hands, I don't know, it's just that, suppose you've been exposed to a different dimension, and you're like a kid. You don't see things, you just feel things. That's it. And this is one of the very highest stages you can achieve to. Yes. And people talk about manifesting, how to attract money, how to do this, that. With this mind, you can pretty much this mind is extremely powerful, trust me. Let's say it like that. And so moving on, in the next steps, what usually happens is, you will be getting into dhyana. Dhyana means this type of experiences. You feel your body, like so many different encounters, up to I believe, if I'm not mistaken, probably around the 16th step or so, you will be experiencing different dhyanas, and such a beautiful experience. But every time what you do is one thing: you tell your brain, you tell your mind, hey, you're supposed to be thinking about your breath, inhaling, exhaling. The moment you recall your mind that, boom, it just goes back to that. It's just like you deflate a balloon or you just pop a balloon, like, boom, you're just going back. And again, you're building yourself up. And then instead of getting to the dhyana, you go to the next step. So that's why some people, they start liking these dhyana type, like these certain experiences. They spend so many, I wouldn't say an hours, like they're actually spending days and days and days in there. So not to disrespect people, because of that I don't want to mention my personal experiences of certain people who had said certain things. Let's not talk about that, but then moving on, this is what happens. So every time you have to recall yourself what you're supposed to be doing and get yourself down, somewhere on the 16th step or so, now you're slowly moving out of your autopilot mode. Now there excuse me, there all you see is, you don't have no thoughts right there. Your mind is extremely clear. Now this is the best time you start seeing the formation of the thought. At the very tail end, you see the formation of the thought. Now, you had a bunch of thoughts, you isolated a one thought, and now you see the spark happens. Remember the 5 steps we were talking about? You see this now. So after that, do I really have to say where you're at? You became to the highest level of intelligence. You're an enlightened being. The whole world is in front of you. Instead of world is controlling you, now you're controlling the world. How? Mind used to control you, now you control the mind. So, how amazing is that? Experience what I said. Everything happens to everybody the same exact way. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little too long, but if you did learn something, please go ahead and subscribe me. That helps me a lot to stay in YouTube. And I will see you in another interesting video. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day.